Now we're going to begin the new sheet.
In similar fashion, just like we described by a person, that before they think and before they speak, the words don't exist. It's one with their nefesh. Same way, we have an analogy. There is a unity of the the speech and thought of the Eibishter. The absolute oneness. In the essence of the Eibishter. But this is where the similarity with people ends. A person has a choice to speak or not to speak, to think or not to think. By the Eibishter, after he speaks, it's as one with him. Gam achad, even after. That his words have gone, so to speak, out of him into reality, into action, into actuality. In creation of the worlds, they continue to be one with him, as it was one with him, before the Eibishter created the world. The Eibishter Klayachal does tzimtzum shleikim pshuta, dibush shleikim pshuta. Before you've spoken, before you've thought, everything is one with your etzem. By the Eibishter, after he's spoken and after he's thought, it continues one with his etzem. Because Leisa Saponim the Eibishter is all over. Now, but then, if you would know what God knows, you would see that there's no change as far as the Eibush is concerned whatsoever. The change is only to us. That we get life the way we perceive it. And how do we perceive it? We perceive it that Hashem has in fact spoken on a level of Yitziyase Kvar Paltiel, in going out into actualization, bebrias ha'elamus, in the creation of worlds, that shemislabish bahem, that the Eibishter's words have gone into the worlds, la'chetzim, to give them life. So from our point of view, that the Eibishter's words are separated from him, we exist. Okay? And how does it work? Through a chain reaction of worlds. You should know, not just Klipa Shleikim Pshut doesn't exist really, Atzilus doesn't exist, Ein Sof doesn't exist, no Ruchniisdike world is really separate from the Eibishter at all. It's only from our point of view that we don't experience the truth that everything is the Eibishter, that we do exist, and the nature of our existence is there's a variety of worlds. They establish through a chain reaction from cause to effect. We read this on Madregas and descend from level to level, through many and various tzimtzumim. That we should be able to, from our perception, receive the life that Hashem gives us. In the creation the Eibishter gives us. Chayes is neshama and Neshavas is guf. From the Eibishter, we shouldn't lose our form. It says the Rebbe V'chol tzimtzumim, and every event of tzimtzum, which creates another world, a lower world. Hester upon him is a concealment of the Eibishter's face, so to speak. Lahastit to black, lahalam, and to hide. Ha'er v'chayes, the light and life. That comes from Hashem's speech. That there should not be a revelation of the koyach of the Eibishter's speech, but too much revelation, because if it would be too much revelation, the lower worlds cannot be able to receive. So the first point of Dibur is that the world is separated from him. The second and the third part of Dibur is, number two is, it has different levels, each one created separately. And number three is each one has a different amount of chayas, like the air that a person puts into the spoken word has to be limited. And the nimshal is Hashem creates worlds that in our point of view exist, and at the point of view that we have, that we do exist, there is tzimtzumim that should tailor the amount of chayas that comes to us. It shouldn't overwhelm us. It shouldn't be such a great revelation that the lower world should not be able to receive, but that the contrary should be able to get it. For this reason, also. It seems to them, and by the way, them means us, that with the light and life of the Eibishter spoken word, which is invested in the creations, as though who it is, dov or moved, or something which is separate. Nimhu sevatzmusi is barach from the Eibishter's essence. Rakshin mishechmani is barach, only that it comes from the Eibishter. Just like when a person's words come out of the person, they came from the person. They've been separated, but they've been separated from the person. So the Eibishter, when he creates the world, it comes from the Eibishter and it looks separate from the Eibishter. However, Legabi HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if we would know what God knows, we would see that ain't shum, tzimtzum, v'hester, v'helim, there's no contraction and no blocking and no hiddenness that has mastered umaylim lefonav, that blocks and hides as far as the Eibishter's panim is concerned. And as far as the Eibishter is concerned, he's as much found in darkness as he's in light, because the tzimtzum is shleikim pshut. To the ksiv, the pasuk says, "Gam cheshech leyachshach v'mekav v'geim." Even where it's dark, it's not dark to the Eibishter. In Giluyim, in Ishtalshlus, in the Kav, there's Milo, Matan, Zila, V'yol, there's higher and lower, more or less. But Tzimtzum, Shleikim Pshutim, all of these events are taking place in Ein Sof, in Atzmos, Hosam Moed. And as far as that is concerned, their worlds have not changed whatsoever, from before creation to after creation. Mishum she'ein hatzimtzumim v'halavushim, because all of these contractions and all of these garments are not davar nifred mimeni is but a chas v'shalom, separate from the Eibush God forbid, they're not outside of Elokus. The Eibush is all over, because Elokadin kamta, like a kamta. Kamta either means a turtle or a snail. That he wears a shirt on his back. The levushim and they obey. That it's levush, it's covering his part with itself. And by the Eibush, it's because of as the pasuk says, "Ki Shemu Elokim." At the Keach Eibush called the Elokim, which creates a tzimtzum. And the Keach Eibush called the Vai, which is the truth, are one and the same thing. In other words, where the Elokim is, and we don't see Gil Elokus, the Havaya is without any shina. And therefore, Kamei, when you talk about the Eibush, the Kluk Lachshav Mamish, everything is Mamish nothing. But nothing doesn't mean almost nothing, like we discussed in Perek Chaf, because it's only a word. Nothing means, in fact, the word was never spoken. So we've got Perek Chaf gives us the lower Madrega of Achdus, which is the word of insignificance. And Perek Chaf says the world was never created because it's Tzimtzum V'Shalei Kipshutei. But from our point of view, there's a Hishtalshalos. And in the next Perek is going to say that the end of Hishtalshalos, from our point of view, is that not only are there worlds that have to get a limited amount of Chayes Elokim, not to be overwhelmed, there are worlds that deny the Eibishter altogether.